China slams NVIDIA's H20 chips and urges firms to use domestic AI hardware. GitHub is a little less independent after its CEO resigns. Is the old Linus Torvalds back? Apple kicks Siri down the road again while Android and Alexa get smarter. And a 60-year-old man was hospitalized after taking ChatGPT's health advice. Welcome to #Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. Chinese state media is taking aim at NVIDIA's H20A1 chips, warning companies they are neither environmentally friendly, nor advanced, nor safe. In China's political environment, that kind of statement isn't just editorial. It's often a direct sign of government policy. The criticism, published on WeChat by Yuan Tantian, a social media account tied to state broadcaster CCTV, accused the H20 of potential backdoors and demanded convincing security proofs from NVIDIA. The People's Daily echoed the call, and China's cyberspace regulator has summoned NVIDIA for answers. The timing is telling. After years of export controls, tariffs, and shifting sales approvals, Beijing may feel its domestic chip industry, led by companies like Huawei, has matured enough to no longer rely on NVIDIA. The public rebuke could be a clear message to Chinese firms to buy local. For the U.S., this reads as more than just a product critique. It's a geopolitical slap in the face. Washington's recent olive branch, allowing limited H20 sales in exchange for a cut of revenues, may have been too little, too late. China appears ready to chart its own AI future without American silicon. GitHub CEO Thomas Dohmke is stepping down at the end of this year, and Microsoft will not replace him. Instead, the developer platform will be folded into Microsoft's core AI division, ending the relative independence it has maintained since Microsoft acquired it in 2018. Dohmke, who has led GitHub since 2021, is leaving to start a new company. He will stay through year-end to oversee the transition. Core AI chief Jay Parekh will take over responsibility for GitHub once the change is complete. Microsoft's decision comes as it deepens its focus on AI, with GitHub's Copilot tools now central to its developer strategy. And while GitHub has operated largely at arm's length from Redmond, this integration marks a shift towards a full alignment with Microsoft's AI agenda. With GitHub's culture and identity changing, there's a question about how the developer community will react, but there's also a question about, are there any credible alternatives waiting in the wings? Linus Torvalds, the uncompromising creator of Linux, is back to his unapologetically blunt form. Reviewing a RISC-V patch for Linux 6.17, he didn't mince words. "No," he said, "this is garbage, and it came in too late. I asked for early pull requests because I'm traveling, and if you can't follow that rule, at least make the pull requests good." Torvalds took aim at a helper function submitted by a developer, chiding that it makes the world actively a worse place to live, and that it belongs nowhere near a generic header file, especially not on the last day of the merge window. The broader issue? Code quality isn't just technical, it's communal. This isn't the Linus that we've seen over the past couple of years. After a 2018 apology for his abrasiveness, he deliberately worked on being more measured. And yet, here he is back, traveling and tested, pushing back as sharply as ever. The craftsmanship hasn't slept, but the filter clearly has. To his credit, Meta engineer Palmer Dabbled, on the receiving end, took it in stride. He said, "Okay, sorry, I've been dropping the ball lately. That just leads to me making mistakes, so I'll stop being late, and hopefully that helps with the quality issues," he admitted. I have to say, this guy's got class. But hey, if you're going to be criticized by somebody, let it be Linus Torvalds. And sometimes code gets better when criticism does too. So despite the tantrums, Linus remains the undisputed head of Linux. Maybe people take this criticism because it's not seen as ego, but as a relentless devotion to excellence in a world where software quality isn't always at its best. The meek may inherit the earth, but the cranky get better code. If you were hoping Apple would finally deliver on that big Siri upgrade, here's the latest. It's delayed again. Despite showing off smarter, more personalized Siri features at their Worldwide Developer Conference, Apple has told internal sources the release has been pushed past iOS 18 and is now expected this fall, while others say 2026 is more realistic. Meanwhile, even as Amazon and Google press ahead, Apple users still want what feels like a seamless experience and not cobbled together promises. In sharp contrast, Google is weaving its Gemini AI deeply into Android. From Galaxy foldables that pull up Gemini on their external screens to smartwatches and Wear OS devices that use voice, camera, and predictive AI, Gemini is becoming a cohesive experience across hardware. Amazon isn't standing still either. Alexa just landed a generative AI revamp, while the New York Times struck a major deal to provide news summaries and excerpts for Alexa and to train its AI models. Tim Cook has said we may not be first to market, but we define the market. But being second can only be a strength for so long. Watch as Android and Alexa continue to lock in smart, integrated AI experiences, while Apple's delays risk feeling less like strategic timing and more like sitting on the sidelines. A 60-year-old man trying to follow a salt-free diet wound up in the hospital after taking ChatGPT's advice that nearly killed him. The man asked the AI for a substitute for table salt, and ChatGPT correctly said sodium bromide. The problem? Sodium bromide isn't for human consumption. It was once common in the 19th century as a sedative, but it's been banned in food for decades because of its toxicity. But unaware of this danger, he swapped it into his meals for 3 months. Slowly, the damage built up. He developed paranoia, hallucinations, extreme thirst, poor coordination, and skin problems. And when he was finally admitted to hospital, doctors diagnosed him with bromide poisoning, a rare condition known as bromism. He was treated with fluids, electrolytes, and antipsychotics until his symptoms cleared up and his mind returned to normal. This case underscores the risk of using AI for medical advice without a human check. Surveys show that 35% of Americans use AI for health questions and 63% trust it. But a Stanford study found that medical disclaimers in AI responses have dropped from over 26% in 2022 to less than 1% today. Even a simple warning might have prevented this. ChatGPT can process health information, and it's a great resource, but it's not a doctor. And just like in medicine itself, when your health is on the line, always get a second opinion from a qualified professional. And that's our show for today. Love to hear from you at technewsday.com or .ca. Just use the Contact Us link, or you can find me on LinkedIn, or if you're watching on YouTube, just leave a comment under the video. If you like the show, please share it with others and maybe give us a good review on your favorite podcast platform. It all helps. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a terrific Tuesday.